So what's up guys, long time no see huh? So here I am with new topic, and today video gonna be fire. I can't upload the video due to my class presentation and others activities. So you know what is our topic today, so before we enter to our video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more anime content. So now our today topic is about manga fight. And here I'm explaining the YUJI Itadori vs YUTA Katsu manga fight. So without further ado, here we go. YUJI Itadori vs. YUTA Katsu is a battle fought by excommunicated Tokyo Jujutsu High first-year student YUJI Itadori against his appointed executioner and special grade Jujutsu sorcerer YUTA Katsu. It takes place in the abandoned remains of Shibuya after Jujutsu headquarters revokes the suspension on Yuji's execution and assigns Yuta to carry it out. Now we start from here. Yuta Katsu finds Yuji and Choso in a scuffle with Naoya Zenin in the middle of the city. The confrontation comes to an abrupt halt when Yuta's creepy cursed energy sends chills down everyone's spine. Standing on a platform high above them, Yuta is surprised to see that Target isn't all alone. Yuta unsheathes his katana and jumps down to where everyone else is. Yuta's identity hasn't been made clear yet, but Choso is sure he's here to kill Yuji. The special grade sorcerer lands on a guardrail with such a heavy impact that it takes out the entire side of the road. Naoya asks Yuta to wait to inform the higher-ups after he kills Yuji because he wants to use Sukuna's vessel as bait for someone else. He considers himself lucky that Yuta didn't notice him say Megumi was his target earlier. Yuta decides to align himself with Naoya and agrees to leave Choso to him. Choso acts quickly and aims his hands at Yuta while activating convergence so he can block the special grade from chasing his brother. However, Naoya and Yuta move just as fast as Yuji does, if not faster. While Yuji takes off running, Naoya kicks Choso's arms upward and disrupts the activation of his cursed technique. This allows Yuta to rush right past Choso and chase after Yuji directly. Yuta stays right on his target's tail, and Yuji is surprised that his executioner can run so fast with a drawn katana. Yuta is also impressed by Yuji's speed and expected to end the fight in his initial rush. Yuji jumps over car while his opponent gets low and slides around the front, channeling his momentum into a powerful upward slash. Yuji grabs onto the open car window and stops his body before it clears the vehicle, allowing him to avoid the sword. He flips back to the opposite side of the car from Yuta, who is sure that he sliced his target. This makes Yuta realize that his adversary has incredible physical capabilities just like Maki. Yuji hits the car with a right hook so strong it lifts the vehicle off the ground and directly into his pursuer. Unable to shake his executioner out in the open, Yuji tries to use this chance to run indoors. By the time he reaches the sidewalk, however, the car suddenly comes flying back at Yuji from behind and crashes into the building he was trying to run into. Yuta takes notice of his opponent's surprise and admits that he's not the power type. Yuji can tell that despite not being physically imposing, Yuta possesses vast amounts of cursed energy. He compensates for a lack of physicality by reinforcing himself with cursed energy on a level that far surpasses most sorcerers. Yuji is even more shocked by the revelation that his executioner possesses a higher volume of cursed energy than their teacher, Satoru Gojo. The big difference is that Satoru has the 6 eyes and he'll never run out of cursed energy, unlike Yuta. With tons of cursed energy surging from his body, the special grade sorcerer abruptly decides to end the short explanation and takes his swordsmanship stance. Yuta rushes directly at Yuji, closing the distance between them before slashing him. Yuji remains on his back foot and avoids the katana, but his executioner continues to stay dangerously close in pursuit. It's difficult to read the moves of someone with elite cursed energy control, but it's made even worse by Yuta because his body and sword are constantly emitting high levels of cursed energy. Regardless, Yuji's issue is beyond just predicting his opponent's moves. YUJI is unable to avoid every attack and gets hit in the face with the pommel of his opponent's katana. The force is so strong that it knocks YUJI back a few steps. In spite of the massive odds stacked against him, YUJI remembers Nanami telling him you've got it from here, and states he can't die just yet. Yuta attacks again, with a horizontal slash that's avoided by YUJI using a long backstep. The swordsman follows up with a downward slash that gets closer to its target than another upward slash that manages to slice YUJI's cheek. YUJI avoids any major damage, but he knows he must deal with Yuta's katana before anything else. Normally, YUJI can steel his body against blades with cursed energy, but that won't work on this opponent. While leaping through to the window on the other side, YUJI notices a survival knife on the seat inside the vehicle and grabs it. Yuta clears both cars in a single jump and tries to strike down his target as soon as YUJI exits the other side of the SUV. However, YUJI is able to block the blade this time, surprising Yuta with the survival knife. Yuta quickly figures out his opponent got the knife from the SUV and dismisses it because there's no reason to fear a non-cursed tool. For the first time in the fight, YUJI engages Yuta offensively. He imbues the knife with cursed energy and closes the distance without fear. Their blades clash, and YUJI attempts a few slashes of his own that Yuta is able to parry. They trade slashes until Yuta halts both blades and forces YUJI to focus on defending. YUJI channels his cursed energy into his blade to defend the best he can, but the young student of jujutsu hasn't been taught this type of control yet. While lifting his katana and using its super to bring the weapons above his head, Yuta notes that YUJI is far too focused on the katana and delivers a powerful front kick to his body. YUJI is sent reeling back and acknowledges that a mere forward kick is still incredibly strong. Yuta follows up his kick with a fierce downward slash, and YUJI's knife isn't enough to block it this time. The survival knife's blade breaks, and YUJI suffers a deep cut directly across his abdomen. The katana slices YUJI's lower abdomen and spills a concerning amount of blood. YUJI ignores the pain, kicks the katana's blade while his opponent is still mid-swing. He stamps on the blade and traps the top of it into the ground. While holding it down with his left foot, YUJI uses his right to kick the flat side of the katana, breaking the blade in half. With his weapon broken, Yuta slides back and openly admits that it was never going to be easy to defeat another one of Goju's pupils. The wound in YUJI's lower abdomen is deep, but his intestines are still intact. Now that both fighters are unarmed, YUJI attempts to close the distance again. However, YUJI's head is suddenly grabbed from behind by the large hands of an uncanny cursed spirit with a white face. It easily restrains YUJI and asks what's going on here. Yuta tells Rika that they're just playing, but YUJI is left very confused. From his perspective, this cursed spirit came out of nowhere and somehow has more than enough strength to immobilize him completely. Yuta asks Rika to hold YUJI still as the cursed spirit wraps its arms around his body. Yuta walks up to YUJI and thrusts the broken blade directly into his heart. Rika disappears and the wound causes blood to immediately pour from YUJI's mouth. Yuta takes YUJI's body to the area where the fight began and finds Naoya defeated by Choso. Yuta walks behind Choso and takes the death painting off guard. Before Choso can fully turn around, Yuta smacks with him with a closed fist strike so strong it knocks him to the ground and leaves him unconscious. And now this is for the day, guys, and tell me in the comments which manga fight do you want next. I explained the fight of YUJI versus Yuta, and tell me if I forget some points or some panel, and I try to explain as I can. So now have a good day, and goodbye until next video.